Hey, what's up? Iron Tamer Dave Whitley, Master SFG, coming to you from the Strength Dojo in Nashville Kettlebell. Please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't followed my professional page on Facebook, I'll put the link down below. You may be looking at this video on that page. If so, thank you very much. I'm also Iron Tamer, or at Iron Tamer on Twitter, trying to spread the message throughout social media. What I'm going to talk to you today about is this idea that came to me a while back. Recently, this is the beginning of March 2014. Recently, there have been several different swing challenges that have popped up on the internet, and some of them are outstanding, and I am very happy to see that. The first swing challenge that I remember hearing anything about was a few years ago. I was unable to do swings because it was before I had my knee surgery, and it was a bad idea for me to do swings. And my good friend Dustin Ripito decided to throw out on Facebook to do a swing challenge, 10,000 swings in 10 consecutive days, I believe is what it was, or maybe it was 10,000 swings in 3 weeks. I don't remember the details of it, but anyway, it was the original 10,000 swing challenge that I remember seeing. There may have been others before that, but that's my first time being exposed to that kind of that sort of idea. And Dustin had said that since I couldn't swing, they would swing for me, and that really touched me, and I really appreciate that, and I want to thank Dustin here on video for that idea back in 2010 or 2009 or whenever that was. Thankfully though, for the past few years, I have been able to delve into the experimentation of what exactly is possible with higher volume, higher rep swings, and I've had a wonderful experience and had a lot of fun, and a lot of good stuff happen both up here and everywhere else as a result of that. And so the swing challenge that I have, I ran the idea past Dustin, and he said that I should call it the Forge. And the idea of that is absolutely perfect to me. If you've been at a kettlebell certification with me anytime in the past 5 years or so, you've probably heard me at some point throw out this old Japanese swordmaker's proverb that the iron ore believes that it is being needlessly tortured as it passes through the forge, but the tempered steel looks back and knows better. So it's a process of tempering yourself. It's a process, and I apply that to the weekend because the weekend's a very, very tough thing, but pretty much anything that you do that causes you to temper and reinvent yourself in a positive way can be considered in that same frame of thought. So I thought this was a great name, and so thank you again to Dustin for that. I think this is a very good thing. The actual idea of the plan stretches out for at least 6 months, the way I've kind of got it written and have experimented and played around with it. It might go on longer than that if we sat down and looked at it. But what I'm going to give you in this blog post and in this video this video and the blog post that is attached to is a 4-week, the first 4 weeks of it, the beginning version of it. And it's not the kind of swing challenge or challenge at all where you're trying to push through the pain and gut it out and do one more rep and do 100 more swings today than you did yesterday or any of that kind of stuff. Although those sorts of things are built into it. More important, not more important, but more trying, more testing of yourself will happen in between the swings than during the swings, because we're going to focus in on breathing ladders. I've done a couple of videos recently about breathing ladders, and this is, rather than just, hey, here's some ideas to do it, this is a cohesive step-by-step 12-session, 4-week-long plan to use the breathing ladders, and I've got my notes here on my phone. It's a plan to use those breathing ladders along with swings to put yourself through the forge. Now, I know the questions are going to come up about, can I do this with, fill in the blank with whatever other thing? Probably. It's only 3 days a week of swings. You could most certainly do it with get-ups or bent presses or something like that. In fact, I highly recommend it. You could work this into something like an easy strength program, I think. I haven't actually done it, but it makes sense to me. And if you decide to do that, please let me know. You could work it in with as a conditioning aspect of other strength stuff or other sports stuff that you're doing too. The only thing that I'm going to recommend that you shy away from doing any additional work or any additional exercise or activities that's very strenuous is during the third day of each week. It's a higher volume day than the other days, and it'll take you a little bit longer. So you might want to consider just dedicating that day to swings only and not doing anything else besides that. But the other days, it's only a couple hundred swings. So I'm going to walk you through very quickly, if I can, exactly how it's laid out. And pull up the notes here. So what we're going to do is during the first 2 weeks, we're going to have a 5-to-1 ratio of swing to rest. But the lowest number of swings we're going to do in a given set is going to be 10. So what you'll wind up doing for your first set will be 10 swings, and then you'll take 2 breaths recovery in between. The next set will be 20 to 4, and then you'll do 30 to 6 and 40 to 8. And that's what week 1 looks like. I do not care if you do one-handed or two-handed swings. Probably best for you to keep the weight, if you're a guy, somewhere between 16 and I would say the top end would be 28, maybe 32 if you're very, very strong. But you'll notice that you get a fairly high number of swings in the final set of each ladder. So I don't want grip strength or grip endurance to become an issue on this. So I would say probably 20 to 24 is the sweet spot. Guys who are a little bit more experienced or a little bit stronger might go slightly heavier. Guys who are a little newer might go slightly less. For ladies, same sort of guidelines. Somewhere between 12 kilo and 20 kilo is probably the range, and 16-ish being about where the sweet spot's going to be for you. Again, don't care if it's two hands or one hand. All of the sets are set up in even numbers, so you can wind up doing them either way. If you want to do 10 two-handed swings or 20 two-handed swings, that's great. If you want to do 5 and 5 or 10 and 10 or 15 and 15 for this or 10, 10, 10, 10 for this, then that's fine too, however you want to put that part together. So that's the swings for the first week. The breaths in between is what we're really focusing on for this challenge. So what you're going to do is you'll knock out 10 swings. You'll be 9, 10, you'll set it down, and then you'll do two big breaths. And the longer, slower, smoother you can make those, the better off you're probably going to be. Now, it won't seem like much at first for these first couple of sets and also for the first couple of ladders. That's okay. You're not really pushing yourself that hard at this point. Save that for later. Let the volume do the work rather than trying to push, and I can do one more. Because the point of this is to train the breath as part of the conditioning. So you'll do 10 swings and then you'll take 2 big breaths. Now there's a couple different ways you can do it. I don't really care. I'm interested to hear from other people what their experiences are using different breathing methods. What I tend to do myself is most of the time I stay nasal. So it would be 9, 10, set it down, and then resume the next set. When you get to 20, you would do the same thing, but you would take 4 breaths. 30 would be 6, 40 would be 8. And that's one time through the ladder. For the first week, you're going to go through this on day 1 2 times, on day 2 3 times, and on day 3 5 times. So you wind up 200, 300, and 500 swings, because this adds up to be 100 swings. 10 plus 20 is 30, plus 30 is 60, plus 40 is that. So each ladder is 100 swings. So day 1 will be 200 swings, day 2 will be 300 swings, day 3 will be 500 swings. But you won't get very many breaths in between. Now that's the first week. The second week is identical to the first week, except instead of 10, 20, 30, 40, you're still going to do that. You're going to add one more set on the top end, and this will be your long set. and it'll be 50 swings and 10 breaths. Now, I didn't say this earlier. After you finish your top set, you go back to the bottom of the ladder and work your way up again. So you don't go up and then back down in the numbers in this particular protocol. I'm not opposed to that. It's just not what I want you to do right now. So you're going to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 with 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 breaths in between each set, and then you'll start over again at 10. So again, same thing. Day 1 is going to be 2 times through. Day 2 is going to be 3 times through, and day 3 is going to be 5 times through. Okay? So I'm just going to scribble stuff on the board and hope that you can read it. So that's the first 2 weeks. Now, the second 2 weeks are identical to the first 2 weeks, except instead of taking 2 breaths in between, we're going to change the ratio from 5 to 1 to 10 to 1. So you'll do 10 breaths, or 10 swings rather, and 1 big breath. 20 and 2, 30 and 3, 40 and 4, 50 and 5. Now the longest single session that you'll have will come on day 3, week 2. That's when you do all of this with double that number of breaths and you do it for 5 rounds. So it winds up being 500 swings, and it should take you about 40 minutes to do that if you're taking nice long breaths in between. I timed it. That's about how long it takes me to do it. I'm getting 150 swings with the breaths that are twice this number that I've written on the board done in about 8 minutes. So it stands to reason that every other set or every other session should be a little bit shorter. I haven't timed every session. I just timed the longest one so that I can let you know you'll probably never be going in excess of 40 minutes on this. So anyway, 10 swings, so 9, 10, set it down, 1 big breath. 19, 20, set it down, 2 big breaths. All the way up to 50. And then the same sequence for the second 2 weeks happens as we had in the first 2 weeks. The first day, you'll do 2 times through. Second day, you'll do 3 times through. Third day, you'll do 5 times through. This is week 3. You will not do the high set with 50 reps in it, so you'll stop at 40 during week 3. And then in week 4, you'll do all the way through 50 reps. 5 breaths in between, or 5 times on the final day, and that will do it. If this doesn't make sense for me explaining it to you, I will put the numbers written down in the description of the video, and this video is also going to be part of a blog that will explain it further and tell you some of the other stuff that I've been talking about here as well. But I'll put the numbers in the description. We'll have the description of the numbers, and then the blog post will have a full explanation of what's going on there. So the video is running a little bit longer than I thought it would. I apologize, but I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, send them to me. Put them in the comment section on the blog or in the video. Hit me up on Facebook. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and find me on Facebook, my professional page, Iron Tamer Dave Whitley. And happy swinging. Tamer out.